Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot.
Okay, Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot what?
Okay, Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot what? Charlie Oscar.
Foxtrot Charlie Oscar. Foxtrot Charlie Foxtrot, was that it?
Foxtrot Charlie Foxtrot, was that it? Roger, Foxtrot Charlie Oscar.
Okay, Foxtrot Charlie Oscar, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Okay, Foxtrot Charlie Oscar, Roger, Roger. What's the name there? Name Bob, BOB, located in one. Also a Yaesu FTDX-101 Delta.
Roger, Roger. I've got you on my local antenna there, Bob, and you're about 15 over, sounding really good. So we're looking to perform some EQ changes on that radio. You have a lot of bottom end, so we need to get a lot of top end for balance, Roger?
Roger.
So let's go to your EQ page. The rest of it sounds really good, so let's go to your tone control or your EQ page, Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so let me see here real quick. Let me crank in my notes here. Boy, it used to be I could just crank them in. Now I've got so many notes that I'm getting noted for notes. All right, so what I want to do is make sure again that your transfer bandwidth is in that wide mode, Roger. It's important to let that transmitter run as wide as it can, provided that it's less than 3. You want to be 100 to 2900, Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so if that's true, then we wanted to set up the EQ. If we go to your EQ page, and we're talking about making sure that the let's see where that is. We want to be sure that your equalizer is set to on. Your mic processor, your mic EQ is set to on. Roger, Roger.
Roger, the equalizer is set to on.
Okay, so also verify that you're in the processor mode. We should have the processor on at a 3, Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so because we have the processor on, we'll be using the P set of EQ controls. We'll be using the P set of EQ controls. Roger, Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so what we want to do now is, where is that? Stand by just a moment. Let me find that. You have three EQ controls, and hang on just a minute. Okay, you have three EQ controls in that P series, and we got to use the P series because we're in the processor mode. So EQ number 1, the base control, should be set to 200 cycles with the 4, level -6. And I'll repeat that. EQ number 1, which is the base control, should be at 200 cycles with the 4, level -6.
Okay, I'm not locating that on my radio at the moment.
Okay, it should be in your equalizer, on your equalizer page. or your tone control page, or probably your equalizer page. They're both the same thing, just depends on what the manufacturer calls it. Now, your last transmission did not sound real bass heavy. I'm just wondering if it may be the way you're working your microphone. Maybe we can make the EQ that you currently have work. It's just a matter of the way you work your microphone, Roger.
Roger.
Why don't you tell me, let's just get a basic sample there. Why don't you tell me about your antenna in about 10 seconds. Just tell me about your antenna system.
Yeah, I have a Cobra. It covers all bands, just the one antenna.
Yeah, I think you're pretty close. I'm listening to you on a 7300. 7300 has a very good low-end response down to 100 cycles. There's probably not too many newer radios do have a great deal better lower frequency response than older radios. But I mean, the 7300 has a much better bottom end than my SDRs that I use occasionally. So you sound a good baseline right there. I would suggest maybe coming back off mic about an inch further back off mic than where you were last transmission, and let me listen to you.
Roger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, about an inch further back than with that transmission just before the last one, Roger.
Okay, that's about an inch further back.
Nah, I'd like you back where you were originally. Just go back where you were originally, Roger.
Roger.
Okay, now tell me about your radio for about 10 seconds. I'm trying to get a good recording, too.
Radio is a Yaesu FTDX-101 Delta.
Yes, sir. So let me give you a note, or a couple of notes, or 3 notes actually. If you could do that, if you can jot them down.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, when you find out where your EQ page is, or your tone control page, or your equalizer page, we want EQ number 1, the bass frequency control, set to 200 cycles, width of 4, level -6, and I'll repeat that. EQ number 1, which is your bass control, set to 200 cycles, width of 4, level -6. Roger?
Roger.
Okay, then we move to EQ number 2, which is the mid control. We want that set to off or flat. Mid control set to off or flat. Roger?
Roger.
Okay, and then EQ number 3, which is your treble control. We want that on 2.7 kilohertz, width of 4, level +7. And I'll repeat that. EQ number 3, which is your treble control, we want that set to 2.7 kilohertz, width of 4, level +7. Roger?
2.76 and the level +7 on treble.
Okay, and let me repeat one more time. EQ number 3, the treble control, set to 2.7 kilohertz. 2.7 kilohertz, width of 4, level +7. Level +7. Roger?
Roger.
And that should take care of that. Now, be sure that you're in the P set of controls, because you have the processor on, and you need to make these adjustments in the P set of controls. And if you come out of your processor, this EQ control will be negated. So you have to stay in your compression mode to use this grouping of EQ. Roger?
Roger.
And I think it'll sound beautiful that way. Maybe next Friday we can check in if you'll have a chance to crank these numbers into your EQ, and we'll see what you got going for you next Friday. Roger?
Roger. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Let me see. Make sure I got that. Bob K04. What is it? K04FC Oscar. Is that right?
Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Charlie Oscar.
Yes, sir. And Bob, what part of Tennessee are you in, sir?
I'm in the western part, a little town called Dyer, D-Y-E-R. It's not too far from Dyersburg.
Yes, sir. And the radio you're running today is what now?
I'm sorry, I didn't read that.
Yes, sir. And what radio were you running today?
I'm running a Yaesu FT-101 FTDX-101D.
101 dog?
FTDX-101D.
Is that 101 Delta? Is that Roger?
Roger.
All right, Bob, I really got a good copy on you. And I know, we tried to work last week, I think it was, and I didn't have anywhere near as good a copy as I do today. Roger, Roger?
Yes, we did. The band was really bad, but seemed like it's holding out pretty good today.
Yes, sir, not bad at all. Well, let me say you're 73 down that way, Bob, and you can crank in those numbers, find out where your EQ page is, and crank in those numbers, and then join me next Friday, Roger?
Roger. Thank you very much. Qso-Vlog.
Roger, Roger, Bob, 73 down that way. And if you want to hear your audio as it is, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to our Qso-Vlog net. Our Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring 2,600 Qso-Vlog air-checked recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73 there, Bob, and we'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, clear.